Hey, my name is James Nicholson and welcome to my YouTube channel. A major central bank has held interest rates. Now, this has an impact on decisions that are made in other regions. We've got the Federal Reserve doing their interest rate meeting at the moment, and so we'll have an update on that in the next few hours. But we've also got the Bank of England considering where they want to take rates on August 7th, which isn't far from now. And it's interesting to see what's going on in other areas of the world. Now, in this video, I'm going to talk about what the rates are with this central bank. Why did they pause? How many cuts have they had this year? And should we be doing something similar? We'll talk about inflation as well in those areas. Now, if you're new around here and you haven't done already, do make sure you subscribe to the channel over there and hit that bell notification. We're on the way to 45,000 subscribers. If you look around this video, I think we could hit it in the next 24 hours. So if you don't subscribe, do help us. But why would you subscribe? What benefits do you get from that? Well, by subscribing, you'll get all the latest house price news, interest rate news, all the latest updates on stuff that are happening. And just in case you're wondering, that's not my house. Unfortunately, it's not my house. This is where we're staying. We're just outside Carcassonne at the moment in this beautiful house here with my partner and all her family. So having a real good trip here. So let's get down to this. What's going on with this central bank? Well, it's the ECB, the European Central Bank. The meeting was a few days ago, and they've decided to hold interest rates. So they're holding interest rates, but their interest rates are much lower than ours. They're just 2%. But so that's really where I think we need to start heading to. Now, in their meeting, they talked about the fact that at that time they needed to see what happens with the tariffs with America. Those have now been announced. So I'd like to know what you think about this. I think the Europeans have really negotiated a terrible trade deal for themselves. It just doesn't seem great. America is putting 15% tariff on any stuff that goes into the USA, and the EU is not charging the Americans anything in tariffs. And that's going to hit European businesses, because now American importers might look around, see if they can find better deals in other regions, or buy less of certain things because consumers aren't buying, because things are getting a little bit more expensive. So yeah, that deal is done. It's higher than expected. I don't think it's a particularly great deal. Maybe I'm missing something. So I'd like to know your thoughts, opinions, or observations in the comments. So they've got the rate held at 2%. They've cut 7 times recently. So we have cut 4 times. I think America's cut 4 times. They've cut 7 times. Now, where does inflation stand? Well, obviously, Europe is done on a country by country basis. So I'm in France, so let's talk about France. In France, inflation is 0.9% at the moment. So it's lower than the 2% target. So they really have already beaten inflation, really. And so that's why they've got down to that 2%. In the meeting, they talked about the fact that wage growth has slowed down. That's something that the Bank of England talks about a lot as well. The Bank of England has concerns about 2 major things when they have the inflation data they talk about a lot: service inflation and wages. They were really worried about wages going out of control. Wages are still above 2%, but they're slowing down. Unemployment is going up. So what else is going on here? They're saying that really the EU, that they're not looking at any more cuts at the moment because they just don't know what's going to happen. I'm going to have a look down here while I'm talking to you guys. I've not actually been down this part here, so we'll explore it together while we're talking about this. So yeah, their approach is wait and see what happens. What impact do we have from the tariffs being implemented in America? Is that going to slow down American companies buying European imports? That'll be interesting to see how that goes. Like, it could. I think it could. And I think that's going to impact a lot of people, their core inflation is the inflation when you strip out all the volatile stuff. That is above the 2% target. So that stands at 2.7%. So I'm sure they'd like to get that down a little bit as well. But I think what the Europeans have really got to focus on now is the fact that if America does start importing less stuff because of the fact that you've got this higher tariff on now, then that could slow things down in the EU. So while their inflation is low, they still might have to cut rates to stimulate their economies, because they could have some sort of slowdown. Just in case you're wondering, what are we looking at here? A field, basically. There's a field down here with some forests. We've got 50 acres here. We'll probably see about 4 of them while we're here. Not as in you and I, as in the whole trip. We'll explore a little bit, I'm sure. But I've got a 4-year-old girl, Amelie. Her legs get very tired very easily. So why does this impact us with our interest rates? Well, we will obviously want to look at what other regions are doing and see what impact tariffs are having on them, because let's just say things do slow down in Europe. That could impact the UK as well, because their companies, their consumers as well, might spend less with British companies. And that could mean that we get a bit of a hit from that as well. They will buy products and services and go on holidays with us. And all of this stuff happening can cause a global slowdown. Now, if that happens, what would happen with interest rates in the UK? They'd go down quite quickly to try and stimulate the economy. And the Bank of England often act too late. That's a big problem that I see. And I think a lot of you agree with that they're always too slow on things. They were too slow to put rates up when this inflation started. I think they're too slow bringing them down. A lot of you have commented, and I agree with this, if they cut by 0.25% in a few days, does that impact us massively? Maybe not. Like, it really won't make a huge difference. It's not going to make mortgages suddenly become really cheap, but it might get a few people into the market. It might mean a few people can get approved that couldn't get approved for a mortgage. So in summary, the ECB has held. The Bank of England, I think they're going to cut on the 7th. I'd be shocked if they don't cut. Last time I was in France, they did, so that's an omen, hopefully. And the Federal Reserve, well, you'll know the result by the time you watch this. I don't think that they're going to cut this time. I think that they are really wanting to see what happens with this tariff data, how that impacts things going forward. So we'll see how that goes in the next few days as well. Let me know what you think's going to happen in the UK with the Bank of England and in America with the Fed. Do comment below, and do make sure you check out our mortgage guide, how to get the best mortgage deal in 2025. Nearly 1,000 people have taken it now, which is crazy. It's an ebook. There's no cost. You just put your details in and it'll ping it across to you in seconds. But it could save you a few quid on your next remortgage. So do check that out. Also check out all the other content as well on the channel. And make sure you subscribe, because let's get 45,000 subscribers in the next 24 hours if we can. Thanks for watching. Make sure you go and watch this video right here.